Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So today is the start of week 8 and 9. So as this week is not a usual week or a single week challenge, so we will try to provide 2 weeks challenge and for you to give you a time just for a little break and to improve the depth on the projects that you have done on the previous one. And this is a place where you can start introducing the challenge and we will discuss about the overall challenge flow. So basically, today we are going to go to another fintech sector, which is the fraud detection mechanism. So when we say fraud, it's illegal act on stealing or just stealing customer credential or stealing your ATM card and try to buy anything from the e-commerce transaction. And by flagging that as a fraudulent activity or not fraudulent activity, you need to be careful uh, in many cases because some of these fraudulent activities or transactions are not similar to the regular transaction. So you have to have um, the features that represent those irregular or illegal transaction as well, and you have to avoid. You have to be sensitive on false positive predictions. That means blocking these illegal users who are performing transactions, but their action seems suspicious for fraudulent activity. So you need to be careful and sensitive enough for that, not to block the genuine users. And this damages a trust that they have on your company's product or service. So on the other side, these fraudulent activities have an impact on overall the company's profitability or company's loss because they will increase if you have a system that can effectively identify fraudulent activities, it will reduce loss and a few chargebacks or stolen goods or a few money is stolen. So that means your system, when your system becomes intelligent, the company becomes more profitable and more profitable. And also having this smart fraud detection system, you will enhance the customer experience or the user experience of your client. And that means fewer blocks, fewer delays, so everyone is satisfied with your buying or selling from your system or anything. So since our use case is an e-commerce company, we will focus on how this e-commerce company will be impacted through this fraud detection system. So it's much more of a task focused on identifying which one is the fraudulent activity, which one is not. So our client is today is the innovation technology company, and they are a top companies in financial sector, and your company focus on solutions for e-commerce and banking. So this time your task is to improve the detection of fraud case for the e-commerce transaction and for bank credit transaction. Just to note on this one, th- this week is a 2 weeks challenge. That means week 8 and 9. So it's designed to be flexible because some of you didn't complete week 7 and or any of the previous weeks. So it's just to give you a little break and to catch up on the previous challenge. Try to use the time effectively as you can. And the main aim or the main goal of this project is to accurately determine uh, this is a fraudulent activity, and this is a fraudulent transaction. Uh, and your system should handle both type of transaction data in the given data set, whether it's you have to have additional data from the geolocation, and also you have to uh, explore transaction patterns, and that can improve this fraud detection. And if a good fraud detection system will improve the transaction security, because the more secure system that you have, the more your business is profitable, less risk, and you reduce the loss of the company. So RA Innovations wants to a data analysts to do this fraudulent or to spot these fraudulent activities more accurately, because as I have said, you prevent the financial loss and you build a trust with the customer and the financial institution as well. So the key challenge that in this managing fraudulent activities, how you can handle them, how you can detect them, is the trade-off between the security and user experience, because those which we called as a false positive or incorrectly flagged legitimate transactions are the alien customers who false negatively missing the actual fraudulent task. So in this place, we have two things: the false positive, the one that needs to be uh, allowed as a legitimate transaction, and the false negative, those who are you are going to miss and you are going to lose through that. So you have to be sensitive. This kind of tasks are sensitive enough for these errors, and you have to improve on that one. So your model should have to evaluate not just the overall accuracy, but also its ability to balance these competing costs. Uh, so what's the project involves? You will analyze and pre-process the transaction data that's given, and you will create an engaging feature, and you will create and engineer features to identify these fraud patterns and build a training a machine learning model to detect the fraud, and evaluation the model performance as usual, and also making a justified selection will be the crucial for this thing, because you need to be sensitive on the falsely identified fraudulent activities, and also um, by you when you miss the actual fraudulent activities into as illegal non-fraudulent activities. So interpreting your model's decision using model explainability techniques, that will be the tasks for this week's challenge. So we have the fraud data set, which contains the e-commerce transaction data that helps you to identify the uh, fraudulent activities through certain patterns. So this is the user ID, sign up time, purchase value, device ID, anything related to that is here. But the critical challenge within this data set is there is a class imbalance, and this that you need to find a way to balance or significantly improve the data set or by sampling, not to influence the evaluation metrics. So a few of the non-fraudulent activities are there. So you have to balance your selection from this data set. And this is the IP address where you can translate the IP address into where from which country is this transaction is coming. So you can translate through the country information that's attached here, and you can uh, triangulate it with the fraudulent data, where you can merge both data to identify which IP is from which country, and that will tell you some additional information about that activity. Let's say usually you are buying from Ethiopia and accidentally you move to US. So this is something that needs to be flagged as fraudulent, fraudulent activities, because it doesn't mean that within an hour you will move to from Ethiopia to US. That means this should have to be definitely flagged as fraudulent activity. So these are the cases that you need to consider. Ledato, maybe can you please mute? Okay, thank you. So these are the data sets that we have, and this is the credit card transaction data, and which is a bank transaction data. It's anonymized and it's not directly infer the amount or the things, but you would get additional transaction amount information in dollars, and also it will help you to get the fraudulent transaction and also non-fraudulent transaction from the credit card data as well. So this is the additional context that you have, and the three data sets will be helpful for you to correctly identify or to build a machine learning model that can correctly identify fraudulent activities or non-fraudulent transaction. So as the fraud dataset, this also have the class imbalance challenge, but hopefully you will try to solve this within the sampling techniques and try to sample uh, equivalent balance of data set from both the credit card and from the fraud data. And the learning outcome for this week is the it's simple. You have to clean and pre-process the complex data that you have. You have to merge the two data sets, the fraud and the IP one, um, and you have to get a meaningful feature from those raw data, and you have to implement how you can handle this the class imbalance. As an example, I have told you to sample, but you can explore more. How can you solve these class imbalance issues, and you would be more accurate in that sense. And also, you will have an skill to train and to evaluate models through multiple evaluation techniques, and also articulate and visualize the model prediction and explainability looks like with shape. And the knowledge, you will build a business understanding of what's the technical challenge regarding to the fraud detection, how you can understand the importance of explainability and building trust, and how you can justify the model selection based on the performance metrics and business context. From the behavioral side, you adopt this business-centric approach to a problem solving or actual problem solving skill. And also you will demonstrate a systematic and organized workflow for data analysis to final interpretation. And for communication, reporting on statistical complex issues, because you are trying to deal with multiple data and also multiple humans. So for the challenge we will have today and all week 8 and 9 will be your Slack channel to ask a question, and as the interim submission will be on Sunday, this Sunday, the first interim submission. It's not as usual. We will have two interim submissions. So on the next Sunday, we will have the second interim submission, and the final one will be on July 29. So when we came to the tasks are clearly stated here, but you need to analyze and pre-process the data. You have to understand the data first by checking it Then you have to handle the missing value. If there is any missing value, you have to clean, you have to explore the data through either univariant or multivariant analysis, or you have to merge the data set for the geolocation analysis. Then feature engineering comes next. Then you can have multiple features here where you can triangulate the two data set, and also you can derive from the existing fraud data set as well. And you can transform the data to handle this class imbalance, and also normalizing this scaling will be the other task that you need to perform. And you need to encode as usual, since machines can understand the zeros and ones. Those categorical features needs to be encoded, so you can encode through one hot encoding or any other encoding technique. Then the next task is the model building and training. So once you have pre-processed, you have future engineered, you have transformed the data, you have the clean data that could be used to train the model, then you can split this into train and test split. You can use the general rule of thumb, which is 80-20 or 90-10, and 90 for training and 10 for validation, or 80 for uh, training and 20 for validation. You could use any heuristic that can satisfy this condition, or 60-40 also possible. So this is up to you to select what should be the training data set and what should be the percentage of the test data set. And the model selection will be you have two options: the direct logistic regressions, and also choosing one of the ensemble methods like random forest or gradient boost model. So you can use logistic regression as a baseline model, and also other models from the ensemble models like XGBoost or XG like GBM model. So you can compare these two models with respect to the data and the target that you have. And once you train the model, you need to evaluate the model. So try to select appropriate metrics for the imbalanced data, or if you have corrected that data on your task one, that's possible. So you can use the straightforward confusion matrix, AUC curve, or F1 score. You can use any of them. And you need to justify that which model is considered as the best and why. What's the reason for that? And task three is model explainability. So you have to use the shape or shapely additive explanation to interpret your best performing models, and to generate these shape plots, the summary plots, and to understand global and local feature importance. That will help a lot when you rely on machine learning models on more. You need to know that this result is reasonable enough to make this transaction fraudulent as a fraudulent activity or non-fraudulent activities. You need to know, you need to have a certain confidence. Like, usually we will use 95% confidence interval, but you have to say in uh, s- which interim submission, maybe it should have to be by typo. If there is a Tuesday, I think the interim submission is on Sunday. Both interim submissions, as you can see it on the challenge document. Maybe on the final submission will be on Tuesday as usual. Stefanos, if I answered your question, maybe somewhere else. Okay, you are asking to be on Tuesday? Yes, it's possible, but just to keep the momentum for this interim submission, better to have the interim submission on Sunday, but you can have a time until Tuesday to submit the interim submission. So we will have tutorials on these topics on what's the protection and its core concept, what's how can we build model that plays with shape, and how do we communicate the insight that we found. These are the tutorial session that we have, and we will have a Q&A session. We will add more Q&A session as needed, but these are the checkpoints that we want to mark and to see your progress. If you are working on the other project tasks also, that's possible. So this will be helpful for you to get time and to breathe. And what do we expect on in the interim one? So interim one is the expectation is the completion of task one, which is the EDA part, the data understanding and pre-processing. And task two is about just to show you are on track and you have done the second task and you need to show the progress of that. And the final would be as usual the end to end from the start to the end of your what you have your analysis, your modeling, and your explanation why you have chosen those models. So this is the week 8 challenge. If you have any question or anything which is not clear, let me know. You can unmute and ask questions, or is it clear? Is everyone is ready to start today? It's week 8 and 9. It's not week 8, so we have 2 weeks. Please take your time to review the past submission as well. If you didn't submit, try to submit or try to compensate within this time. It's we have made it purposefully 2 weeks for you to go back and check the previous tasks that is given, and if you didn't complete them, try to complete them. If you have completed them, try to improve them. Okay, thank you, Optamo. Any question? Okay, if everything is clear, we can wrap it up it here, and we will go to. You will have another session on what's the fraud, what does it mean in the fintech sector, what does it mean in the e-commerce sector. You can understand where you can better understand about this, and see you then on the session. Thank you everyone for joining.